All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're talking about an insect that is, well, it's an absolute marvel of biological engineering and cultural significance, the bullet ant. I mean, this thing is basically a living fossil from the Miocene era, and it's armed with a chemical weapon that has literally shaped rainforests and even human traditions.
So, let's start with its reputation. It's known as the king of pain for a reason. And that whole reputation, it's built on just one thing: the single most painful insect sting on the entire planet. Seriously, this isn't just some bug. It's like a walking six-legged lesson in the biology of pure agony.
Just listen to this. This is how the entomologist Justin O. Schmidt put it. His description has become, absolutely legendary. Think about it. The pain was so unique, so off the charts, he had to create an entire pain index just to try and classify stings like this one. And guess which insect sits right at the very, very top?
Okay, so take a look at the actual Schmidt pain index. You've got your fire ant way down in a 1.2, paper wasp at a 3.0, then you get to the big leagues. The tarantula hawk hits a 4.0, which is bad enough, but the bullet ant, it's in a class all its own. It's the only insect to get a 4.0 plus rating. That plus sign means the pain is so extreme, it literally breaks its own scale.
But here's the real kicker. That tarantula hawk, the one that also scores a 4.0, its sting is this blindingly painful electric jolt, but it's over in about 5 minutes. The bullet ant, though, no way. The agony from its sting doesn't just stop. It comes in these relentless waves of pure searing pain for up to 24 hours, a full day.
So you have to be asking, what on earth creates that kind of excruciating, long-lasting pain? Well, to get that answer, we need to dive into the science behind the sting. It all comes down to its venom, which is this incredibly specialized and potent neurotoxic cocktail.
The main weapon in that cocktail is a neurotoxin called poneratoxin. You can think of it as a molecule that's been perfectly engineered by evolution for one job: inflicting the absolute maximum amount of pain on vertebrates, like us. It's a tiny little thing, a 25 residue peptide, but as soon as it's injected, it goes right to work on your nerve cells.
So, how does it actually work? This is the crucial part. It acts like a key that gets jammed in the lock of your nerve cells, and that lock is something called a voltage-gated sodium channel. The toxin forces these channels open and, more importantly, it keeps them open. The result? Your neurons just start firing uncontrollably, sending non-stop, screaming pain signals straight to your brain.
And get this, it's not just about the pain. That would be bad enough. The toxin is actually more sophisticated than that. It targets a few different types of sodium channels all at once. So while one type is responsible for that mind-bending pain, the venom's effect on other channels causes things like uncontrollable muscle trembling, major swelling, and even disorientation and hallucinations. It's a full-body assault.
Okay, but why? Why would evolution go to all the trouble of creating a weapon this extreme? To really get it, we have to go to the ant's home turf, the hyper-competitive rainforest. It's a place where this ant is locked in a constant, brutal arms race for survival.
See, the bullet ant is what's called a canopy-to-ground predator. That means it hunts for food everywhere, from the leaf litter on the forest floor all the way up to the highest branches of the canopy. Now, that's a great strategy for finding food, but it also means you're constantly running into competitors and predators. This unique lifestyle demands an absolutely formidable defense system.
So on one hand, that sting is an amazing deterrent against big predators. Think anteaters, birds. They learn very quickly to leave this ant alone. But there's another, much more sneaky threat. These tiny little forward flies. And what they do is they're parasites that are drawn to the scent of an injured bullet ant. They then lay their eggs inside the ant, using that as a living incubator for their young. Horrifying, right?
So you see, it's this constant battle for survival on all fronts. You've got big predators from above, tiny parasites from below, prey that fights back with its own chemical defenses, and even brutal all-out wars with other bullet ant colonies. That is the evolutionary pressure cooker that forged this incredible weapon. All right, so we've talked about the biological purpose of this pain. But now the story takes a fascinating turn. We're going to shift from the why in nature to the why in human culture, where this same incredible pain has been woven into the very heart of a society, transforming a weapon of defense into a test of strength. I want you to meet the Sateré-Mawé people of the Brazilian Amazon. They're an indigenous group who have let's say, a very different relationship with the bullet ant. They don't run from it. They actually embrace it. For them, willingly enduring this sting isn't just a challenge. It's a sacred and necessary path to becoming a warrior.
So how do they do it? The ceremony centers around these special gloves. They take hundreds of bullet ants, sedate them with a natural herbal remedy, and then weave them into these palm frond mitts with all the stingers facing inward. The young man, the initiate, that has to put his hands inside these gloves for 10 straight minutes as the ants wake up and start stinging, all while he performs a ritual dance.
But, and this is the part that just blows my mind, it's not a one-and-done kind of thing, not even close. To be considered a true warrior in their community, a man has to go through this entire agonizing ordeal 20 times. 20 over the course of his life.
And you have to understand, this is about so much more than just enduring pain. It's about building resilience. The ritual is designed to steel these young men to prove they can face any hardship life throws at them. It connects them to their ancestors, and the songs they sing preserve their people's history of resistance, getting them ready to defend their community and their future.
Okay, so we've gone from the rainforest floor to an ancient rite of passage. But this story has one last, completely unexpected twist, and it takes us right into the sterile labs of modern medicine. Because it turns out the source of the world's worst pain might actually hold the secret to its greatest relief.
And this leads us to a really fascinating paradox, right? Could this thing, this perfectly evolved instrument of pure agony, actually hold the key to healing? It seems crazy, but yes. The exact same molecule that causes all that suffering is now being seriously studied for its amazing therapeutic potential.
And the answer seems to be a resounding yes. Scientists are looking at poneratoxin to develop brand new non-addictive painkillers. The logic is brilliant. If you can understand exactly how the toxin locks pain channels open, you can design a drug that does the exact opposite, that blocks them. Beyond that, it's also being looked at as a potential eco-friendly insecticide and even as a tool to help us understand the cellular stress involved in diseases like Alzheimer's.
So in the end, the story of the bullet ant really shows us that pain can have a profound purpose. We saw its evolutionary purpose, its cultural purpose, and now its potential medical purpose. It's just such a powerful reminder that sometimes the things in nature we fear the most are the very things that hold the most valuable secrets. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other profound lessons are just waiting to be discovered, hidden inside nature's most extreme creations?